Hey guys, today we're looking at Bayonetta 3. Now, this is a really interesting game, mainly because when I play this, I did not really have high expectations after Bayonetta 2. Bayonetta 2 has just felt like a little bit more of Bayonetta 1. They became a Nintendo exclusive. They're kind of like, this is okay. It's nothing amazing or great. But Bayonetta 3 is really good. Like, I was actually amazed at how good this game is. In fact, I think Bayonetta 3 is better than the original Bayonetta, and there are a couple reasons for that. The story itself is kind of like, it starts off as whatever. Basically, of all things, aliens invade, and they have this cool like genetic like harvesting method that they do, that they need, human and animal DNA to create hybrids and stuff like this. And then there's a whole timeline future warp thing. Like, they just went crazy with the script. They did not care, because I feel like this is going to be their last one of this style for now, at least. So what is a big change is like, Bayonetta can now use demons while she's fighting, and this is really like amazing / cool, is that they let you summon Gamora, for example, from the first games just whenever you want, and it'll have its own moveset and whatever, and it'll kind of switch to that whenever it's spawned. It's also interesting that in this game, instead of the halos, you to collect the genetic things from the aliens as currency. And it's kind of like everyone's been kidnapped and put into cryostasis and blah, blah, blah. There's also this thing at the beginning where Bayonetta is, up against this boss, and, you can't win. It's one of those unbeatable bosses. And it's like, oh, what's going to happen? How are you going to save Bayonetta and all this stuff? And what's going to happen? And so that's kind of how the game sets it up. There's a world invasion. Bayonetta's up against this ultimate boss, and she loses, and she's basically beaten back. And so she's now in this new stage where she has to recover and kind of, take on the enemies. But yeah, it's the flair, the vibrance, the presentation is back and better than ever. And what really shocked me about this game, what is super impressive, is the amount of weapons and demons you wield. Like, this doesn't feel like Bayonetta 3. This feels like Bayonetta 5. Like, the amount of absolute crazy stuff that you can unlock in this game is mind-blowing. Like, when I thought I unlocked like a new weapon set and a new demon, I thought, okay, cool, that'll be like one of 3 that I'm gonna have in this game. But no, by the end of this game, you have like, in terms of, because each weapon is also associated with the demon, obviously. Actually, no, sorry. I mean, there is a weapon for each stage and a demon, but you can mix and match. But by the end of the game, you have like 12 different demons, and probably just over that for your weapons. It's shocking how much creativity and thought and dynamics went into the gameplay mechanics of this game. It feels so much more advanced than Bayonetta 2. It feels so much more advanced than Bayonetta 1. It is ridiculous. It is literally ridiculous how much new gameplay there is in this. And the only thing I can think of is that it's being borrowed from Platinum's other projects, I guess. I haven't played games like Astral Chain yet, but, if that's an indication of what it is like, the answer is yes. And I thought I'd have 3 main demons throughout the playthrough, but that balloons into a lot more, and it just kept getting crazier and crazier with what the game allows you to do. And I love that feeling of an action game where it just has so much. The demons were kind of similar to Bayonetta herself. You have your light attack, your heavy attack, and then each demon has like a little special thing. So Madame Butterfly has a butterfly kiss. Gamora has like a giant, chomping thing. And again, the variety of demons in this game is just stupid. So like the first one you really unlock is you unlock these weird chakram like weapon things that are on fire. And the demon that goes along with it is this giant spider. And the spider is amazing because it's super fast and it latches onto things. And this feels like a game like almost a decade in the making. Like I just can't get over how much fun it is and how interesting and diverse all the mix-up and matchups are for all the weapons and demons. The crazy there's a friggin' train demon. I don't even know what to say. The friggin' train demon sent me over the edge. It's like, are you serious right now? Are we really doing this? This is actually crazy. But no, Bayonetta 3 is, I would say, severely underrated. It is an amazing game and amazingly fun. And the way the game is divided up, you have these different kind of time charts. So not only are you going into the future, but also the past, but you're going into different dimensions. So they're doing a lot of timeline stuff where they're just doing everything. They're just doing a bunch of stuff, and it doesn't matter if it makes sense or not. They're just kind of doing it. Of course, the characters, return in this game. Luca, Rodin, Jean, and the rest of them. Jean herself, it's actually interesting. Jean has these series of sort of side quest mini games where Jean actually plays like a stealth action side scroller, which is kind of crazy. And her main objective is to find this doctor who is the guy who invents the time machine or whatever, of course, and all the different timelines. And she basically needs to find him in this facility, and so it's kind of like every time you go there after a major chapter or mission, she will kind of do this gameplay, and it's a mixture of attacking guys, going through doors and hiding and setting off alarms and disabling alarms and stuff like that. I think everyone kind of agrees it's a pretty weak part of the whole game experience. It's not super well made. It's okay, but it just makes you think, I really want to get back to playing the rest of Bayonetta, because it's so much fun. Speaking on the bosses too, the way they do bosses is, it's similar to what they did in the past, where it's like, okay, you fight them and then you have the demon come out and do this huge thing. But now, because you control demons, they have like a specific mini game for every single boss. So of course, in the Tokyo level, you're going to play as Gamora, and you're going to have a Godzilla style Titan battle, and it feels really good to have. I always like that in things like friggin', I don't know what came to mind, Psychonauts, when you have like, or Gex, when you have with that one level where you're just a giant and you feel super powerful, and the weight of your attacks, you really feel it when you're fighting these bosses. It's a lot of fun. And so, and that's the thing, like the gameplay keeps it really fresh. You're not just spamming the same combo with Bayonetta over and over and over and over again. But you also like, hey, here's this demon, you're riding on its back, it has this distinct moveset, learn this and go crazy, and now you're going to do this, we're doing this now, we're doing this now, we're doing this now. And there's just way more variety to this game. It just feels so much more fun. The enemy variety is also pretty good. You have your small enemies and big enemies, and I'm not sure if they get too boring, but the amount of moves that you have to deal with them. There's also a freaking tower demon. Like the amount of weird, crazy stuff that I thought, no way this is going to happen. No way this is going to happen. And it does all happen. This is a proper action game where there is just crazy, crazy stuff that just keeps happening. And I love it. It is so cool. The other cool thing is that each one of these demons and weapons, they also have a separate Bayonetta. So I'd like to imagine, or they probably are, these are like rejected or old Bayonetta designs that they kind of rejected, or rather kind of, had forgotten. And so they're reusing them all in this game. So you have like ancient Chinese Bayonetta, and Egyptian Bayonetta, and French Bayonetta, and so you have this multiverse of Bayonettas, which does become an actual plot point. It's not just for the lulz, it's just there is a point to it later in the game, but you have all these different Bayonettas from all these different time periods and timelines. And each one of them not only has, I guess they kind of have a personality. You don't get to talk to them or listen to them very long, but the designs, oh my god, the designs and the styles are just insanely good. The designs for each one of these characters is really, really super impressive. Of course, in the game, there are points where they do like take away your demon powers just to mitigate you, just cheesing the game, because it does almost let you cheat. So you kind of meet these. So the pattern that emerges that you find out very quickly in the game is that you're going through all these different dimensions and time shards and whatnot, meeting the fake whatever Bayonetta. The time aliens are hunting her down. She usually sacrifices herself or dies. You get her weapon and her demon, and you get a little tutorial from that demon and how it works. And then eventually, as you get to the end of the level, you use that weapon and that demon to fight the big bad boss. And this ranges again from places like ancient Egypt to modern day Japan, France, all over the place. It's a lot of really cool, good stuff. Also, I should have mentioned in the other reviews, so the first game was Fly Me to the Moon, the Bayonetta 2 was Moon River, and then this one is Color Your World, which I'm not sure is based on a classic song, but I don't know, it works. So the music, of course, is still good. It's really fun here. Again, the amount of things I've talked about, weapons and whatever, also correlates to the levels. The levels are super long, detailed, a lot of fun, and really, really great to play through. And of course, Bayonetta's design has gone through another design in this game, and so it's an interesting, impressive, thing that they've done, and everything from this game. In fact, there's even a special thing you can unlock from the options menu. If you use your points, you can unlock different cosmetics for each costume. So I think there's 7 or so, or 8 primary colors and 8 secondary colors, and you can unlock each of these via your color palettes. There's just so much. Another thing I should mention, of course, is you also get to play as a different character. In this game, you get to play as the new character, Viola. And I find it very interesting because so Viola's moveset is very different from Bayonetta's. She cannot really dodge. She can only really counter. And she only has a katana. And so her moveset is much more... And she doesn't have any demons, per se. Oh, sorry. She does have her demon Cheshire. And when you summon him, though, he just kind of does his own thing and fights the enemy. You're not really in control of him. And so he'll go out and he'll do his thing. And you kind of do your thing. And so Viola, the way she works is she'll have a different combo with her katana and whatnot. And she works very differently than Bayonetta. In fact, I really think about it, and she's really a combination, or she's more similar to, honestly, like a Virgil moveset from Devil May Cry, in that, this is how, Dante has a lot more variability with his, his styles and his weapons, but Virgil is much more focused and kind of, just does his own thing. So Viola is kind of like the Virgil of this series, and it's interesting that they've implemented her in this game, and her kind of whole aesthetic is more of a punk, kind of thing. Cheshire, is this kind of like a patched up animal kind of thing. So it's more of a youthful kind of look. And Viola is obviously younger than Bayonetta, and so she has a different part to play in the story. And I won't say it, but she becomes basically, since she's a playable character, she's obviously a pretty major character. And by the end of the game, you kind of find out what her identity is and how she fits into the story and what her importance is, and how it looks like she's basically going to be the future of the series. But I'll kind of leave that to the end for speculation. What's also interesting, Bayonetta also has a certain counter, so that if you counter with this thing with the left trigger, you'll summon a demon as well, and that'll give a demon-specific counter. You know, the amount of moves is honestly hard for me to remember because there are just so many movesets in the game between the two different characters. The other thing I do have to say about the story in general is that because this is the final installment in this series, or at least of this type, they make some pretty bold changes, and there's some pretty, honestly, some big you know, decisions that they make, a huge, you know, character you know, decisions, character reformations, if you will, and something that really is going to change the tone of the rest of the series. But this does feel like a final send-off. I know one thing that I didn't know about this, but apparently Bayonetta was a queer icon, and apparently the relationship in this game nullified that hilariously. I didn't realize it was such a big deal to some people, but it was. The ending of this game is really interesting. You know, like I said, it makes a lot of big changes. It sets a very different tone for the future of the series, and honestly, I'm really excited to see what this series becomes, because it is so intricate, and you know, this one was just so much better than Bayonetta 2 that I'm really super excited to see what the future of this series is going to be, and what it's going to transform into. It is this is an extremely fun action game, and I really cannot stress that enough, how many different variables and variety of weapons and systems and styles there are. It's just wonderful. The only thing I guess I could criticize it for is that you have to equip them in the menu, which weapon and demon you're using. I wish there was a faster way to swap it on the fly, but it feels like the rest of the controller has been fully utilized to do something of some sort. Everything from a taunt to a you know, a different combo or attack or whatnot. But yeah, Bayonetta 3, incredibly content-rich game, incredibly fun, a great installment in the series, and something I'm really looking forward to for the future of this franchise. That's it, guys. Definitely give this one a try. See you later.